I didn't expect my life to shift so drastically. I wasn't planning for it. I wasn't even looking for change. I just wanted peace after the chaos. My name is Clara. I was 36, working remotely as a freelance editor and living alone in a quiet, forested part of Washington. After years of caregiving for my mother during her illness, I had come to value silence. I thought my life would stay that way, quiet, uneventful. Then came the call. It was from Denise, an old friend who worked for a child welfare organization. "There's a boy," she said, 16. His mother passed, no known father. He's been through 5 homes in 2 years. He's difficult, but bright. There's something in him. I thought of you." I laughed, unsure why. "Me? I haven't raised a child in my life. You've cared for people, and he needs something different, not rules, not discipline. He needs to be seen." His name was Liam. I don't know why I said yes. Maybe I felt guilty for the life I had, the quiet, the order. Or maybe something in me wanted to be needed again. Liam arrived on a gray Tuesday afternoon. The social worker barely spoke before she drove off. And there we were, two strangers standing in the middle of my warm wooden cabin. He didn't say much, just looked around with wary, tired eyes, like he was already bracing for the moment he'd be told to leave. The first weeks were like a long walk across ice, tense, fragile, cold. Liam stayed in the guest room. I kept to mine. We shared meals sometimes, but he rarely spoke. He would come to the table, eat mechanically, and retreat to his room. He didn't go to school, not yet. There was paperwork, evaluations, and delays. But I knew even if they placed him, he wouldn't last long without trust. At night, I heard him pacing. Sometimes I heard muffled crying, the kind someone hides by burying their face in a pillow. I never brought it up. One morning, I found a sketchbook on the porch table. Inside were drawings, stunning ones. Faces, nature, moments, all shadowed, almost haunted. I left a note beside it. "You're talented. Let me know if you need more pencils." He didn't say anything, but the next day, he left the sketchbook open where I could see it. A drawing of me, making tea in the kitchen. Spring came early that year, and with it, something subtle shifted. We began talking, slowly, about nothing at first: books, food, the weather. Then one evening, while I chopped vegetables, he asked, "Did you take care of someone before me?" I paused. "Yes, my mom. She had ALS." He nodded, like that made sense, like he knew what it meant to watch someone fade. "You don't talk like the others," he said. "What others?" "The ones who had me. They always talked like I was broken." "You're not," I said without thinking. He looked at me then, really looked, like no one had ever said that to him before. Things weren't easy. Healing never is. Liam had outbursts. Anger would come without warning. He'd yell, throw things, go silent for days. It wasn't about me. It was grief, trauma, years of rejection. One night, I found a broken plate in the sink and a hole punched in the bathroom wall. I didn't say anything. I just cleaned it. Later, I heard him outside, sitting in the rain. I brought him a towel and sat next to him. "I thought if I acted out, you'd send me away," he whispered. "I'm not leaving," I said. "You don't scare me." He cried then, shoulders shaking, as if years of pain poured out all at once. The weeks that followed were quieter. Something between us had changed. He began opening up about his mother's addiction, the nights he spent hiding in shelters, the families who used him for checks and then discarded him. But it wasn't just his pain he shared. He started asking about me, about my dreams, my regrets, my past. I told him about a man I once loved but left because I was too afraid of being hurt again. "Funny," he said. "I think we both stopped trusting people a long time ago." Sometimes we sat in silence together, watching the fire. It was enough. In early summer, Liam's birth uncle came forward, a man from Texas. He'd only recently found out Liam existed. The court scheduled a hearing. The state wanted to place Liam with biological family. He didn't talk for days. Finally, he asked, "If they take me, will you fight it?" "I can try," I said, "but the court may not listen." "I don't care where I go anymore," he said flatly. "It never lasts." "You matter, Liam," I told him. "Enough for me to try. But I need you to believe it too." I wrote a letter to the court. I spoke of the nights he sat in silence but stayed, the art he poured himself into, the way he finally looked at himself in the mirror again. I told them about his heart, his resilience, his quiet kindness. At the hearing, the judge read the letter aloud. Then she asked Liam what he wanted. "I want to stay," he said. "This is the only place that's ever felt like mine." He stayed. The court granted guardianship to me. Liam didn't cry when we got home. He didn't speak. He just sat on the porch for hours, watching the sky change. At sunset, he came inside, walked straight up to me, and said, "Thank you for everything." We never talked about the hearing again. We didn't need to. Liam is 22 now. He's in art school part-time. He works in a community center for at-risk youth. He sends me postcards with his sketches. Sometimes he visits. We still sit in silence by the fire. But now it's peaceful, not haunted. I never adopted him. We never needed those labels. We weren't mother and son. We were something else. Two souls that found each other in the ruins. Two people who learned that home isn't blood or papers. It's presence, safety, trust, love, not in the way movies show it, but in the quiet staying. If you'd told me years ago that letting a broken boy into my quiet life would heal the broken parts of me too, I wouldn't have believed it. But Liam did more than change my life. He gave it meaning. Not all families look the same. Not all healing is loud. Sometimes redemption begins with a simple choice to stay when it's easier to walk away. And in the staying, a whole new life begins. If this story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you of someone in your life who changed everything, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video if you believe in second chances. Comment below. Have you ever had someone stay when they could have walked away? Subscribe to The Forbidden Mind for more true stories that go beyond the surface and into the soul. Share this story with a friend who needs to hear that healing is possible. Because sometimes all it takes is one person to stay,